Forbes Family Farm. We're back again this evening to show you our preparation of stock or bone broth. In one of our last videos, we talked about our pastured poultry operation. You got to see our chicks and how we actually raise them out on pasture. And at the end of that video, we gave you some tips and tricks on how to actually part a chicken. So in this video, we want to take it one step farther to show you how to make the most out of your chicken. So we're actually going to show you how you can use the carcass, either that raw carcass if you did part the chicken and then cooked all the pieces separately, or how to actually use the carcass and any bones after you've roasted the chicken. So this evening we just roasted 2 chickens for dinner. We added those bones here to the stock pot, and then we actually grabbed a raw carcass that we had kept in a freezer bag to add to this stock mix. Often if we don't feel like we have the time or the energy to make stock that evening after we've roasted a chicken, we'll go ahead and just save those bones in the freezer so that when we are ready to make stock, we have all of those bones available to us. And so you can store them in there for months until you're actually ready to go ahead and make stock. So this evening we are just making a chicken stock. You certainly can make a beef stock, you can make a fish stock. There's a lot of different ways that you can use a lot of the great elements that you'll find in the meat bones. And so there's a lot of great collagen, which is really good for your joints, for your hair, for your nails, for your skin. There's a lot of great amino acids in the actual bones as well. And so that will help you a lot of times with healing your gut. If you have some kind of GI issues, it is very anti-inflammatory as well. So I think many of us have heard the saying that when you're sick, the best thing that you can eat is some chicken soup. And there's a lot of truth to that. There's so many great elements that will really help you if you're sick or you're trying to heal your body. And so while we consume stock and bone broth all year long, I think especially in the winter, we really feel more of a craving for that, and we'll put it in a lot of soups and stews. We'll sometimes even cook our rice or pasta noodles with some of the broth to just give some of those added benefits. So tonight we're going to show you basically a technique more so than a recipe, so that you can take whatever bones you have to go ahead and create your own stock. So as I said, we put in kind of the 2 carcasses from the chickens that we roasted this evening, along with another raw carcass that we had been saving in the freezer. And we'll go ahead and add to that a mirepoix, which is essentially onion, carrot, and celery. It's kind of a classic French term. And while you don't have to add those into your stock, it really gives a nice richness and really added flavor boost to the stock that you go ahead and make. So we'll go ahead and add those now. And the roast that we did earlier this evening was a pretty simple preparation. It had some garlic and some lemon. If you either smoke your bird or you have a very flavorful sauce, you can certainly still use it to make stock. Just know that it might impart some of that flavor into your stock. And perhaps that's what you're going for. So go right ahead and add that in there. But if you want a more neutral stock that's really great to add to a lot of stews or soups, you'll want to go with some pretty basic flavors. We'll go ahead and add some garlic to ours as well. And then you also add what's called a bouquet garni, which is essentially adding some fresh herbs. So we have some bay leaves, some thyme that we had dried from the garden. Often you can put in some parsley. You could do some rosemary that adds a little bit richer flavor to it. But you want to go ahead and add some herbs in, again, just for some great flavor as you're going ahead and you're making your stock. You do also want to put just a splash of acid in. That will actually help draw some of those amino acids out of the bones. So we'll go ahead and use some organic apple cider vinegar, probably, I don't know, a tablespoon, kind of just eyeball it. And then you fill up the rest of the pot with water, and you fill it generally to about 2 inches above your bones. So we'll go ahead and get that started here. And then we will go ahead and put this on the stove this evening. So we generally like to start our stock in the evening. We'll get it to just a gentle simmer. You don't want it to a full rolling boil, just kind of a gentle simmer. And then we'll just leave that all night long. So you can do it 12 to 24 hours. There are a lot of great recipes online to do it in a crock pot or in your Instant Pot even. But we find that just doing it on the stove is easiest for us. And we can just let it go all night long. And usually then you'll see it reduces, for us it reduces usually about 2 inches. And you'll see just some nice, rich, thick stock. And then you can go ahead and save that to use probably within about a week if you save it in your refrigerator, or for about 6 months if you put it in the freezer. So we'll usually save out a quart or so in the fridge so that it's easy and it's available whenever we want to make a last minute dish, or we'll go ahead and then put the rest in the freezer so that it's easy to grab out as we're making meals throughout the rest of the winter. So we'll go ahead and get this started. And again, we'll just let it go overnight and we'll have some wonderful, delicious smelling stock ready in the morning. All right, and we are back here about 18 hours after we started our stock. And as you look in the pan, it's gone down about 2 inches or so. And the first few times that you make stock overnight, if you're doing it in a stock pot like this, it takes just a little bit of finessing to figure out how you can keep it just at that nice, gentle simmer. And so if when you come out in the morning, you realize it's really kind of let off too much of the water, no big deal, just add some more water and just let it go for a few more hours. We've had that happen several times, but this happened to just be at that nice gentle simmer that we were wanting to for the last 18 hours, so it is ready to go. And again, as we said earlier, you can use any chicken bones in this, and you can use the giblet. So if you do, especially around Thanksgiving time, you'll often get some of the giblets inside your turkey. Throw those into the stock as well. I just don't recommend using really highly flavorful chicken or fried chicken, but if you pick up a rotisserie chicken at the store, use the meat off of it for a meal and then go ahead and use that carcass to make your own stock. So now when we're ready to actually kind of get this stock out, we want to remove all of the coarse material. So one of the best ways for us to do that is to either use a slotted spoon, or we'll just use this little strainer, basically like a big scoop, and we'll get out, just all the big chunks of bones and some of the carrots, and sometimes we'll actually feed some of the carrots and things to our dogs. They love it when it's been cooking in chicken stock. And we'll just put that into a separate container. And then once we've done that several times and we have all of the biggest particles out, then we'll actually just send it through a finer screen. You can use cheesecloth, or we have this really fine mesh sieve that you can put it through, just to, again, get all those particles out so you have a nice clean stock to work with. And then you'll have a big bowl of great stock. You'll want to let it cool. One way that you can help cool it a little bit faster before you put it in the fridge or the freezer is to actually put together a bag of ice and just put the whole bag of ice into your stock as it's cooling. Or if it's really cold outside, you can stick it outside, because you don't want to put really, really hot stock that has just come from boiling directly into your fridge or into your freezer. You do want it to come down to room temperature first, but that can take a long time, and you don't want to just expose that to being in the air for hours at a time, so you want to cool it rather quickly if you can. So again, this is just a simple, quick tutorial on how to make stock. It's so nourishing and rich in minerals and amino acids. It will help you kind of heal that gut and get over any sickness that you might have. I don't know if I would quite call it a miracle food, but it's pretty darn close. So enjoy making it at home.